Anthony, do we have a quorum? We do. Okay. I'm ready when you are. Good morning, everybody. We're going to call to order our Desert Hawk Management Board meeting. Today's date is Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, and it's 10:30 a.m. We're going to start our meeting agenda with a call to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. Bill, would you lead us?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to do roll call, but I'm going to ask that we start with our online rep, Mr. Bill Vickers.
I'm here.
And where are you?
I'm in Keene, New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire, okay. Go to you, Bill.
Oh, Greg Roberts, Pueblo West Metro District, present.
Brian Egging.
Paula McFeeters.
Miles Lucero.
Preston Ewing.
All right, we've got a quorum. Next is approval of the agenda. Is there any modifications to today's agenda?
None for me.
Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move ahead. We have citizen comments, which are limited to 3 minutes per speaker for a total of 7. Do we have anybody in the audience that has any comments? None? Seeing none, we'll move on to the manager's items. Item 1 is a contract interpretation regarding the restaurant appliance action approval process. And Brian, you were leading that one.
Yeah, I think that was resolved at the county commissioner level.
Yes.
I believe you guys sent out, so if there's any clarifying, but I think as long as Preston's good, I do not have anything else to add to that.
Okay, and we did, excuse me, we did discuss this during a public BOCC meeting, but the determination was made that this board did in fact say it would be appropriate for the enterprise to purchase that equipment. The BOCC agreed with that. We have not formalized a budget amendment, however, we will at some point, but we went ahead and approved that purchase. I think the PO has gone through. I think equipment is in the process. So yes, sir, we are down the path, well down the path.
I appreciate that.
We're good.
That's good.
Yeah, so that one's
Good
moving
job.
along, which will help Preston greatly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to item 2, which is a recommendation for a county staff lead to facilitate county processes.
And I believe Preston now has a point of contact with that also.
Yep.
So
I've been in contact with Cliff over there.
Okay,
We're
Cliff and facility.
moving along pretty nicely. We've got a few things that are being brought to everyone's attention and getting some stuff ordered and bought and stuff like that. So main thing was the pump. It got delivered, just so everyone's knows that is hopefully going to get paid here, I would assume soon. So
Okay.
and then a mower, which I'm talking with them to try to get the formal process on purchasing used equipment. So trying to ask for 3 bids on a piece of used equipment is probably a little more difficult than a brand new piece. So trying to formalize process and figure that one out there. So
Great. Well, I'm glad that there's a contact now, and it makes it simpler for you and simpler for us in helping. So
absolutely, that was huge.
great. So those are just follow-ups, I guess, of last month's talking points, and we'll move on to what you have to present, Preston, with the driving range extension.
Sure, I think that Christian.
Can I jump in? I just want to make sure that I'm on record for being on meeting.
I'm sorry, Sam.
So no, you're okay. I've been muted trying to say here, but technical issues. So I'm on Zoom meeting.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Did you have any comments about any of the items we've discussed so far?
Nope.
Okay.
No, not at this point.
All right. Thanks for shouting out.
Regarding the driving range extension, I believe we were at the holdup with the lease from the Metro District. I think that Christian had sent that over. I believe it's on the county level now. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But the plan is for theirs to get that moving sometime in the fall, probably target October, November. There is a plan for that on that land to do a retention pond that some of the stormwater can be drained into from the community there and the roads. So the idea is that we get the pond and the driving range extension in conjunction with each other so that we can use some of the dirt from the pond to help build some of the, build up the berm and maybe put a little extension of a range tee at the bottom of the driving range to help facilitate, your high school teams, your larger clinics, even the colleges when they go out there. So I think that we're just all on the timeline because we're just talking about it now and we're getting the lease figured out. I think in the future we can kind of discuss and make sure that we're moving forward with planning and stuff like that to make sure that we're going. I talked to Miles about it. I think that he wanted to get some of the county staff involved to see, help facilitate some of that stuff.
Yeah, so the way that we've talked about this in the past is that county staff would be responsible for performing some or all of at least like the dirt work. And so I definitely, I know that our Director of Public Works, Greg George, has been kind of part of the conversation, but I think like formalizing the group that's going to be responsible for executing that project, making sure Greg's involved. It may involve some of our Parks and Rec staff because they've got a lot of equipment. So we just need to kind of designate a project manager on our side, make sure they're in touch with you. And we can have a kickoff meeting. You anticipate the work wanting to be done sometime in the fall?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, or at least break ground.
I think the important thing to know is all of the staff that would be doing that work are likely kind of like a roads personnel. And to put them on that project would mean pulling them off roads, which is not always looked upon favorably. So we'll just have to talk about with Director George, what his resources are, what he can dedicate, what the timeline looks like, scope of the project. And that's, kind of way outside of any knowledge that I have right now. So we just need to bring the right groups together. I don't know if there's any, like engineered drawings that have been contemplated at this point. So looks like we're at the very, very beginning phases of it. And we just need to determine the right group to get it done. So I would be happy to be part of that, at least facilitating the initial meetings. Are there any other board members? We can only have one other board member. So I would recommend a Pueblo West board member. Of course, Preston should be involved, and then we can bring together our relevant staff along with the Metro's relevant staff to kind of get this going.
I think it's also going to be important we get the Pueblo County drainage mitigation team out there to evaluate
Absolutely.
how that retention pond should be placed, where it should be placed strategically.
Absolutely. And not knowing the specifics of like exactly where that falls within MS4 permitting and who gets the final say over design and build out of that retainage pond. I don't know those things offhand. So that'll be part of the conversation. But yeah, absolutely. Our entire public works staff will be brought into that conversation. All relevant parties, especially stormwater, will be brought in.
Yeah, and unless Greg or Bill object, I'd gladly be a part of that.
Okay.
With your county team meetings.
Okay. Cool. So why don't I will take it on to at least get an initial like kickoff meeting, let's say within the next month.
Perfect.
So we can sit down and kind of talk this through and then have some direction. So I'll take that on.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there any other discussion about the driving range extension?
I do have one more question. Preston, I believe you told me in the past that some portion of that project, some folks in the community had dedicated some in-kind donations. Is that the correct understanding?
Maybe not for that project. We have talked about a lot of other projects that they were going to donate some work or just capital in general. We have a gentleman that's done a lot of work for the golf course out there that was going to do it probably for a reduced fee. And that would just be moving the dirt. So again, there's a berm at the end of the driving range and moving the berm where we need it to. And then maybe any other small dirt work that we need. I don't think that he has any plan of doing anything with the retention pond.
Okay.
Just the dirt that's currently on the driving range.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Sam or Bill, do you have any other comments on this or you good?
No, good.
Okay. All right, so being that we're going to move and proceed upon a review and discussion of this, I would move for an approval of the driving range extension with Commissioner Lucero leading that with our Public Works team and Brian as the lead from Pueblo West. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with that.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. And item number 4, again, is Preston, discussion about the pump for the pump house.
So this kind of went with some of item number 2 from manager's items. Just want to let you guys know, I did kind of mention it earlier, that pump is here. We're working with the purchasing team to make sure that it's formalized and paid for. It was kind of a 4.1 with this, with the mower that we were trying to purchase, the used mower, sorry, trying to figure that one out. Again, working with Cliff and purchasing to try to see what the formal process is there to get
Okay,
3 quotes on used piece of machinery, so.
so is this a request coming to the county for that pump replacement, or what do we?
So again, this was budgeted for, if you looked, we haven't talked about financials yet. It was we have 3 pumps from our pump house. Pump number 3 is
Okay.
probably going to fail within the next few months. We've tried everything we can do to salvage and get it to where we need it to be. The best decision from the person that was servicing the pump was let's get a new one. And this new pump is going to integrate into our older system. And when we talk about a new irrigation system, it's going to integrate into the new one as well. So that was the big
Okay,
thought process there. Make sure that it's going to be able to move into whatever we're going to do moving forward there. So.
okay.
How quickly can that repair be? Excuse me. How quickly can that repair be made? Should the pump go down? Is it
So,
like a day,
so the
day's worth of work?
the third pump, is, if it goes down, we can operate on the 2 without any significant issues for about 3 or 4 days. And then we would have to have a team come in and install it. They were quoting 2 to 3 days on the installation of the third one if we needed to. If we absolutely needed to, we could probably operate on 2 pumps for a week. But that extends irrigation and affects operations, and it would not be an ideal situation at all, so.
Okay.
Any other discussion about that pump? From anybody else? Greg?
No,
You good?
I have no comments.
How about you, Bill?
Nope, no comments.
Sam, you good?
No comment.
Okay. Well, that'll lead us into the discussion, I guess, of the finance report, since you referenced that. So there was a finance report that you all should have received in the email yesterday.
Correct. Yeah.
So we can move through that. Year-to-date actuals, you can see in operating where we are, and then the operating expenses. So I'll just open that up to the group. You can kind of look at that and.
Actually, Paul, if you don't mind, if I can touch on some of
Sure.
this real quick.
Absolutely.
Some of these things I'm still trying to figure out on my own. You see a big overage if you're looking at operating revenues and a triple pass and the green fees. Obviously, we're way ahead there. I'm working, so if you don't know what that is, we work with the 2 city courses in town to offer a annual pass or membership to give a reduced fee to those people that purchase the annual pass. I'm trying to compile the most up-to-date list. Those people register a walking stick, so that's kind of out of my hands a little bit there.
Okay.
There is a split of monies from the initial purchase of the pass that I do not know when we will see. This $9,365 may have already been put into there. I'm not sure. So I'm trying to figure that one out, just so you guys are aware, because that's a big skew there. That's almost 3 times the amount of money that's supposed to be collected. The other thing I just want to point out, and I think it's the monkey that everyone kind of knows about already, the water, obviously. We're looking at a usage of, sorry, I was trying to find it. I should have highlighted it. Think of 32% already. That's probably high for this time of year. In the winter, we do not typically irrigate as much, especially through January, February. Part of March, it just kind of depends on the year. But March and April is again when we start ramping up our usage. So that use is high right now. And I think that everyone kind of probably thought about that. Oh, it's 21%. Sorry about that. But I just want to kind of make everyone aware. We may be looking at this in September, October, and maybe having to adjust and look at different things because our $250,000 number may be a little bit high, essentially, or excuse me, a little low for what we maybe use in 2026. Other than that, I don't have really anything else that stands out to me. I need some clarification. I just got this yesterday. I need some clarifications on some of these other items that are being used. Rental machinery, equipment. I got to figure out why we're over on that. Yeah, still looking into a lot of it, but I just want to make those two aware to you guys so there's full transparency. So.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments or questions? Looking at the,
Preston, do you have an idea or? Can you guys hear me or no?
Yes.
Do you have any idea or even, I know it's all brand new. I know, you're probably drinking through a fire hose with just wrapping your head around everything. I would like you to have possibly a plan, as a lot of these expenses come up, to do a full analysis of them, I guess. You know, I guess we've never, and I don't think it's the county because county pays the bills. I would like to see a full analysis on your end to make sure that we're in the right place. Especially on the expense side of this. We've never really had a deep dive into the expenses since I've been on this committee. And I would definitely like to see that as you get your feet wet and as you get this whole thing figured out, to know that we're in the right place with everything. Instead of just pay the bill that comes up and, we get an invoice, pay it. I would like you to report back to us that, yes, here's the invoice, you need to pay it, but here's also why it's correct. Talking about kind of everything.
Sure. Yeah, there are some of these things that are a little bit out of my control. Obviously, your fixed, your electric, your water, your gas. But just little things like, right. No, absolutely. Well, and 100%. And there are things that we are operating on that have already been set before me that I have no control over with contract obligations, stuff like that. But I'll just, give you an instance, just in trash. I was able to talk with Waste Management, go get some other competitive bids, and we have a cheaper trash service moving forward. So yeah, we are kind of doing that, but
just having an action plan of writing the ship and then giving us that information. Get it, we have all the confidence in you, but being able to deep dive into that and get the expenses controlled and where they need to be, whether that means change vendors or what.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that we can, I can probably present some sort of process or maybe quarterly something to provide to you guys so you're up to date.
Thank you.
Preston, I have a was that you, Greg? I can't remember.
Actually, it was two ladies presenting
Linda
that
Hightower.
proposal. Miss Hightower did
Yeah.
that. And yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I have ideas, obviously. I did intend on bringing this up today. I do see some misalignment with our fees compared to the market, especially in the Pueblo County markets. Something like adding a extra fee for being an out-of-county resident. I think we're a little late to the game for that. I would like to try to target that for 2027.
Okay.
Just because, we have a lot of play. I'm not trying to shake everything up right now. I'm not trying to do some 100%. So there are some other things, since you kind of brought it up, there's a little bit of, I'm seeing some misalignment with with some just of the daily fees. The main thing that sticks out to me is the weekend rate. So we operate Monday through Friday. We have a rate, and then on the weekend we have a different rate. So we're extremely low on that compared to everyone else in the market. If I had to do something today, right, this was going to be a recommendation. Again, we talked about fees. I went through the IGA last night. I think it needs to be approved by either enterprise or the board. I wasn't 100% sure. I think that we need to try to go up on our weekend rates. That's just the green fee, not the cart fee. Where, you know, just for example, walking sticks is $6 higher than we are on the weekend. You know, we're averaging anywhere from 180 to 220 players on the weekend. That you're talking about almost $1,000 a day. So I don't think that we need to go the full amount. I do think that we may consider maybe doing $1 or $2 on the weekend to help close that gap a little bit, to help make sure that we're getting all the money in our pocket that we need to. The other thing would be driving range. I know Mr. Zaremba's stance on that for a long time was, you know, if we get them to practice there, if we get them to and have lower fees, they're going to be able to go to the first tee eventually and play their golf and spend their money there. So maybe something that we consider. We're talking about $1 here or there, but then that equates to a larger amount over time. So again, recommendations that I'd like to see done maybe tomorrow. The weekend, maybe go up on $1 or $2, maybe not tomorrow, right? Maybe a little ambitious date, June 15th, July 1st, whatever, right?
If we're talking about rate change, I mean, schools get out kind of June 1, is full in the middle of the beginning stages of golf season. If we are that far under market, I think we need to possibly move this to an action item, because I believe Board of County Commissioners has to then get rate approvals.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
So, that and then maybe the
Do you guys
driving
know?
range.
Make the
Maybe so.
recommendation, but my recollection on rate change is it did have to go to a BOCC board.
Okay.
That's just a shot in the dark of what I recall.
I need to.
But no, I mean, I would probably agree with Preston that out of towners, we would probably attack that in the fall, because a lot of those people are coming down. Than our local competitors. And we have rounds. I don't see why we wouldn't move to market or move up closer to market. Maybe split the difference now and get to market next year, but I don't see why we would wait at all on that.
I totally agree. There's no reason to be below market. And I would imagine that the BOCC can take that up as soon as a proposal is ready. How much is a large bucket?
Large bucket, Desert Hawk is $6.
$6.
So that's 75 balls. I think everyone in town kind of does the same thing. Walking stick, 75 balls, $7. So we're talking about pennies, but it makes a difference.
So I would put that one on you, Mr. Ewing, to just kind of tell us what you believe
Sure.
would be the right price. And I agree, there's no reason to wait. If we're below market, then we can present the proposal to this board and then get it in front of the BOCC
Right.
as soon as possible.
Yeah, so my recommendation would be to move weekend rates. We'd bridge that gap in half up to $3. And then driving range. I wouldn't touch our small bucket. We have two classifications of bucket, small, and then large. I'd move our large up to 7 and keep our small bucket pricing at where it is.
And the weekend 18 is up to what, did you say?
42. So bridge the gap halfway of the $6. So get it $3 more.
So right now we're at 39.
We're at 39. That is correct.
That's pretty good.
And that's just the green fee, just so everyone's aware. The cart fee is separate. We're pretty close to market on that. I don't think I would make any recommendations change on that.
Great. So that's an action
I have
item
a
for
question
me.
for you.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
So what do you think is the draw for Pueblo West right now? Is it lower than the market? Or are we a better golf course? And if we're a better golf course, then we ought to at least be what the market is. I mean, do you think if we were the same as what Walking Stick was right now, people would prefer to play Walking Stick than Pueblo West?
I believe the draw is actually the shape of the golf course, right? We've talked a lot about the irrigation and things like that, but we're in pretty good shape out there. We maintain the facility, we maintain the golf course in a very high regard there. So all of Pueblo golf is actually it helps boost everyone else in Southern Colorado. My hesitation with going
So my
all the
point-
way. Go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
That's my point. So what's the hesitancy to move it up to the matching all the area golf course? We're still under market for Springs, right?
Yep.
At that price, even if you went to the full, whatever the difference is between Walking Stick and Pueblo West.
Right. So
We're still under the competitive. And so the draw would be, people would still play Pueblo West because it's a better course.
mhm. Yeah, during the week, we're in alignment. Everything's coinciding. Actually, we run a special on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're a little bit higher than the city courses, so we are pretty much in the right spot there. Again, mainly it was the weekend that I saw that was a problem. When we compare our rates to Colorado Springs, that's a whole different thing. And that's because Pueblo is saturated with four or five golf courses in Pueblo County that helps drive the price down, essentially. So, but if we were to look at it in a different aspect, yes, we're out of alignment compared to Walking Stick. I would consider that our closest competitor. Again, my hesitation is if we went the whole way on the weekend, we would lose some of that market share. So maybe they would go play
I mean,
Walking Stick.
I look at, in our last discussions, we're approaching capacity for tee times and rounds. So I think there's a draw to Desert Hawk. I would assume that weekend tee sheets are full. I mean, that's the only way to get to 41,000 rounds in a year. Is we had many discussions that we are approaching basically a full tee sheet when the weather permits. And I think that's a special lever. I don't think you just say we're at capacity, we're going to go above market, because even if we lose rounds, we're making more money. But I think I think it's the total package. I think there's a lot of growth in Pueblo West, and a lot of people are using the asset. And I do think, I think Walking Stick is flooded with out-of-towners, and there's a lot of people that want to play golf on the weekends, and that's why we're full. So you don't continue to increase rounds per year to get to capacity if you don't have a really good total product. So I don't know how you test that. I mean, I think you can go too high too quick, and it's very difficult to then adjust that back down. So I would probably say a strategic approach of, you know, move this up to make sure that because rounds, you know, round capacity also creates your cart rentals and your driving range. So it's a delicate lever that we want to keep those rounds up as high as possible and increasing. So we might not want to shock our customer immediately, but I do think it's necessary that we move up a hair. And we can test it this summer. I mean, rounds played and tee time, you know, tee sheet tells us everything. If our tee sheet starts going down, you know, you'd hate to increase $6 a round and the market tells you, yeah, we don't necessarily like that price, but the market tells you that by less revenue. So
I agree,
do not
Sam.
take it all back now because of a percentage increase. I mean, there's, when you look at our members, if you look at percentage increase, it might be too big of a shock to go from, to take all $6 now. So I think we can start to maximize more revenue, but I think we need to do it diligently.
Agree with everything you said, sir. And Preston, you started saying the sentence, my hesitancy in jumping to 6 right away is, but you didn't finish. Can you?
I feel like we lose some marketed golfers, 100%. So that's, yes, a strategic built-in approach would probably, yeah. $2 now, $2 later, $2 next year, or 3 and 3. Yeah, no, I'd like to bridge the gap. I would say 3 now and then 3 later. That's
Okay.
what I would suggest. So,
Okay. So to be clear, so that we can get it to our legal folks to write up a reso, weekend green fees, you want to move from 39
mhm,
to 42.
correct.
Large bucket from $6 to $7. That's all the time.
Mhm.
Anything else?
No, I'm not seeing anything right now. Anything
Okay.
else?
Is there any opposition from the board to making that recommendation to the BOCC for approval?
I'm good with it.
Support it.
Okay.
Preston, have you thought about developing a QR code with a 5-question survey, multiple choice, to get a feel for comparison between the golf courses and stuff?
Yeah, we can survey our customer base. I know Ryan's come in and he's seen it. Every morning I'm there from 6 to noon. So I hear, I check in probably 75% of the golfers from that time. So I get to hear a lot of these people's input. I get to hear a lot of the frontal of, that's a little expensive. Oh, wow, this is cheap kind of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, we can survey our customer base. That's certainly doable. But I get a lot of those. Especially being new, people don't quite know who I am yet. I get a lot of that opinion already. So, and that's 7 days a week. So, except for this morning because we had this. So, yeah, I'm hearing a lot of that feedback right up front from them. But yeah, if that's something that we want
Yeah,
to do, we can definitely do that.
I can
So,
echo what Preston says when you're there. There's a lot of talk about cost.
Mhm.
That's like a main focus. And it's a 65 plus, clientele in the morning, and they're very focused on cost. And that's one of the reasons they express they enjoy golfing there, but they mark every penny, and I'm sure Preston hears every word of it.
Yeah, I think I have a pretty, and again, yeah, we can touch on doing some surveying and stuff like that. That's probably an operations deal, but yeah, I have a pretty good idea of what the opinions are, and from my standpoint. So
Thank you. Well, we have an action item for the county to go ahead and get that through on a resolution to increase those fees. So we'll get that going with our county attorney and have that ready to go for you. Is there any other discussion of the finance report before we close out this section of the meeting? Anyone? Again, it's through April. We're in the middle of May, so as we get further in, we'll probably have more discussions about some of these things, but I appreciate any input you all have. If, as you get time to review, we can definitely do a deep dive. And I think it's important with the information that you need to get a hold of our budget office here, and they can give you more details about what purchasing is going through and whatnot. So. Okay, moving on, we're gonna do old business or new business, and these would be anything that you as the board have to bring forward that is not on the agenda.
I don't have any old or new business to cover.
I don't have any.
I just wanted to make a quick comment. Karma Lutner, who you might know, sounds like a frequent flyer out at the course. She runs the SRDA. She does many things at SRDA, but they've been getting heavy into catering, and she offered to her services voluntarily if we needed any assistance getting the kitchen set up
Mhm.
in the appropriate manner. No, she kind of knows the layout and has gone through it recently with their kitchen. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you if you wanted to reach out to Karma.
Perfect. Yeah, she's definitely out there a lot, so it's a good resource. 100%.
Bill, did you have a comment?
No, I had no
Oh.
comments.
Okay. How about you, Sam? Anything?
No comments.
Okay. So no additional business for the board? Ryan?
Could I step in here?
Yes,
I
please.
know that we had talked about some irrigation grants in the past. I know some of those deadlines could be approaching, so I didn't know. I know the Metro may have brought that forward at some point. I didn't know if there's an update on that, so.
On grants for irrigation?
Grants for moving forward.
I
new
can
irrigation
speak to
system.
that. So the main grant with the soonest, that's a word, earliest apply date is July 1st. That's Colorado Conservation Board for the state of Colorado. That might be a difficult window for us to hit, but we are shooting for it on June 10th. We plan on presenting to the Arkansas Roundtable Basin as part of that application process. One of the challenges, the point of contact there has moved on, so that position for Colorado is currently vacant. So I've sent emails and just recently, so I haven't got a response yet, but again, it's been very recent. On the flip side of that, the Water Now Alliance offers a 250-hour pro bono technical assistance grant. We applied for that and received it, but we have not signed the MOU yet and panned it out. They're a little hesitant to go with golf course operations, but I have talked them into that. So we'll see if they're willing to give us assistance to that. The downside to that is with their schedule, they probably won't start working with us. We probably won't sign an MOU until June. So that would probably push us to the next deadline for the Colorado board. That would be their main assistance, is helping us apply for that grant. And then we'd be, looking at a December 1st application. So we're shooting for the July 1st. We have been approved for the grant with Water Now, which is a Pacific Institute. They're actually based out of California. And that's a pro bono hour technical assistance. But I wouldn't be surprised with the vacancy at the Colorado Conservation Board that we don't end up more in the December 1st, just because right now I don't have a point of contact.
Okay.
Perfect. Yep, that's all I needed. Yep.
Thanks for bringing that up. I think that's an important opportunity. He's as assigned. That's what that is, right?
Does the county?
We do.
We do.
Okay.
We keep her busy.
Yeah, and we can certainly put you in
Yeah.
touch if you've kind of taken lead on that.
Okay, absolutely. That would be a absolute huge benefit.
I can get you connected with Sarah is her name, Sarah
Okay.
Skinner.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Preston, for bringing that up. Any other issues outside of what we've just discussed? Which is kind of unusual because normally we're going into another meeting for another meeting for another meeting to get things done. So we're kind of at a point of regular meetings now.
It's nice.
Nice, right? All right.
Yeah.
Well, our next meeting will be held on July 15th of 2026. So if there are no other comments, I would like to go ahead and adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Thank you all.